off last year, losing season, that was like first time ever since I ain't never had a losing season in my career since I was a kid, so that was very hard. And, you try to like dot the I's and cross the T's, and you want to put yourself in the best position to win. In this league, winning is fun. And, you got to work hard to be able to win. So I knew this was a hard-working, winning organization, so I felt like it was just the right fit.
And had this been in the works for a minute before even the roller injury?
No. Oh, I don't know nothing about that, but I know we talked, early in free agency, and, we want to revisit. And so it's kind of always been on the ship.
Oh my God, the Lions are about to have one of the best tackling teams in all of football. The Lions just signed former All-Pro linebacker Devin White to a one-year deal. How the hell was Devin White still available on the market? This man last season had 174 total tackles, which was third in the entire NFL, only behind Jordan Brooks and now his teammate Jack Campbell. So now the Lions have two linebackers who were in the top 3 of total tackles just last season. Whoever plays the Lions this year are gonna have a hard time trying to break tackles against Detroit. But I really don't understand, why the hell was Devin White still available as a free agent? Why did nobody want a former All-Pro linebacker that was top 3 in tackles, also had 11 tackles for loss and an interception? This is a steal for the Lions. On top of all that, he's still only 28 years old. The Lions could have him for another couple of years, have him and Jack Campbell. And if you want to keep up with everything happening this NFL offseason, make sure.
As a Lions fan, I approve this. I'll take this. I don't think y'all understand that signings like this, are very effing clutch. Devin White, a player of his caliber, coming into a culture like the Lions, it's gonna fit. It's gonna fit by Jack Campbell, and it lets you know that I guarantee you that the Lions plan on switching up those fronts. Having Derek Barnes rush the passer a lot, I guarantee you when they do that, dropping him down and stuff like that, they're going to definitely have him in the middle with Campbell. I like it, man. Signings like this are very, very good for depth. It's very good for, his leadership, his Super Bowl experience, things of that nature. And, again, the culture is going to be a match. It's a fit for him. It's a fit for the Lions. It all goes hand in hand. Now, for sure, I would like to see them get a corner like either Kenny Moore or Marshawn Lattimore. I feel like players like that coming into the culture of Detroit is going to be huge. It'll be exactly what they need, the right key veteran players, bro. So, Devin White, if you ask me, I'm gonna take it. All right, it's a win. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B grade. All right, we take that. Let me know how y'all feel about it.
So apparently, Detroit Lions pick up Devin White, linebacker. In Tampa, something happened. I can't really remember. Very fast, explosive. I think he played damn near every game with the Raiders last year. A lot of people excited about having him. The rookie, I think Jimmy Roller from Michigan, is going to be out for a long time. So they picked him up. Very experienced linebacker, LSU linebacker. I think ran like a 4.4, 4.3 coming out. So I'm not sure. Obviously, they expected that Jimmy Roller kid to play a huge role in a linebacker core because they're going to be playing more 2 linebackers than 3. So that's the crazy thing about it. They're going to be playing more than 2 than 3 because, they're going to be playing more nickel. They're going to line up with offenses now. Now, offensive base sets these days are 3 receivers. Now, back in the day, you used to get the two receivers, up back, the fullback, the running back, and then 1 tight end. Or you get, usually it was some variation of that, offset eye, split backs. I mean, you had a lot of just different things, 4 houses, single back formations, 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, 1 running back. You used to have a lot of just different you had a lot of just different looks. You had a lot of different looks, bro. Real talk. We had a lot of different looks throughout the eras of football. But check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share, subscribe to the channel. So now the vibes is now most teams are coming out in 3 receivers. Sometimes the tight end is lined up in this as a slot receiver. They didn't, the tight end and became so much more of a wide receiver. And now the Lions are saying they're going to basically match up and they base defense is going to be more, nickelback than that additional linebacker, which one of the reasons they're so good at stopping a run is because they usually come out there in 3 linebacker sets some of the time. But and also they play a big front line. I mean, they was having Enrique some years play defensive end, 2 big pluggers and Reader and Elaine McNeil, and then you have Hutch on. So they play big. They play for power more than speed. But Devin White brings some juice to the back end. To that linebacker core. They're gonna get a lot more faster, a lot of experience. Seem to be a good character guy. I forgot why it ended in Tampa. I followed the story, couldn't remember why it ended, but real shifty, real quick guy. Able to get downhill. Should be pretty good in coverage. A little bit undersized for a linebacker. So him, Barnes, Rodrigo, they gonna be battling. They're gonna be battling to be out there and tackling machine and get somebody that can run. So those mobile quarterbacks, even though they feel like they got that figured out, that. But the common theme continues to be line injuries. Don't matter. They just made some changes this offseason. Ain't even put the pads on yet. Liam McNeil, neck injury. Jimmy Roller, I think that's his name, injured. Giovanni, injured. The list goes on and on like the whispers said the beat goes on and on. Like, what is it? Do they just need to pick up and move Allen Park somewhere else? I know they was in the process of that happening. You know what I'm saying? But it got, I don't know what it is. Just the injuries. You can't put all that on the strength and conditioning coach at all. Some people try to, but no, like that's on the particular player sometimes. But he get an opportunity. They brought him in. The Lions like to leave a little cash, for rainy days on the cap space, and especially now you have to pay Jahmyr Gibbs, and you heard like late last week that they weren't even nowhere. They were premature negotiations, and I'm just sitting there like, premature. These talks y'all should have been having all summer. Like, I don't understand, like, where the priority list, where are your priorities at? You about to lean on him. Don't you want him to be in training camp, getting some physical work in? That's the crazy thing about it. Like the Lions just this as an organization, I don't get it, bro. Now, maybe they was like, hey, before we pay you, maybe we're going to try to make a trade real quick and see if we can make. Now, that could have been the case. Maybe we're going to see if we can make one last power move. Maybe we're going to see if we get this guy, that guy. And then, we'll pay you. Now, that could have been the case. Now, if that's the case, cool. But if y'all just drag y'all feet, this is dialogue y'all should have had, bro. Especially before you let David Montgomery go. Especially since y'all let David Montgomery go. When you seen Breece Hall got paid, Devon Achon got paid, y'all should have been paying up. Y'all should have been paying up. So I don't really understand. You don't have to pay him. He still got about, 3 years, 3 or 4 years, they still can control him. You don't have to pay him, but you want to take care of him. Especially when you dump David Montgomery. You pretty much dumped him last year. So the discussion should have been already been paid. When we move Montgomery, we paying him. That should have been the discussion, bro. That should have been the plan. Hey, man, we move Montgomery, we're going to go ahead and pay him. When we decided to take Montgomery, but that's a different story for a different day. But in general, Devin White, solid pickup, good pickup. I like the linebacker core as constructed, but it sounds like they was really either they was banking on the Jimmy kid, or they was planning on adding some juice. Maybe, I don't know, because he went down and you go get Devin White. Usually they just go get some rinky-dink ass bum ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? But they were like, well, he's going to be out for a while. Okay, you still got Barnes. You still got Rodrigo. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So this may be maybe we seen some things in camp where we need a Alex Alizoni replacement. And maybe they thought Jimmy was going to be that Alizoni replacement on the outside, especially in those sub packages where you only got 2 linebackers out there, So maybe they was like, oh, you know what? This Jimmy kid can come in and do what Alex Alizoni done for us last year. So I think maybe that's what it was. And maybe they didn't think Rodrigo or Derek Barnes was capable of stepping into that role. So it seemed like the kid from Michigan, if I'm reading this correctly, it seemed like that kid was going to start or have a huge role and be the Alizoni role. So Barnes is probably still gonna play the role that Barnes played, but in general, that makes sense. Doing the math in my brain, that makes a lot of sense. That Jimmy kid was gonna be kind of gonna be probably that coverage linebacker or that Alex Alexoni linebacker. So yeah, that make a lot of sense, bro. I mean, when I heard them, like, damn, okay. Usually, one of their little cronies get hurt. Usually, when they little cronies get hurt, it's not it's not that they just go get somebody cheap, even if they out for a long time. They just go get somebody fucking cheap. You know what I mean? But they went and got Devin White. Not saying his deal was the most expensive. I don't know what it was. But, it make a lot of sense. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, Christians and notifications. We go live, drop video. Check out the Trey Lines Talk Playlist for more videos like this. Peace.
Am I seeing this right? One-time Super Bowl champion, linebacker Devin White to the Detroit Lions. A fucking veteran is with the Lions. We go from Zadarius Smith, just for 1 year, that we were the number one team in the whole entire country. Number one seed, losing it against the Commanders because they probably weren't ready to play against the Commanders, but we brought another veteran to the team. Is mother freaking Devin White. Devin White's washed. Devin White is not washed. We're winning a motherfucking Super Bowl this year. It's between these three teams. Bills, Rams, or Lions. Who's going to be the favorites? Yo, Ravens. Well, good thing we don't play the Ravens this upcoming season. We have a different schedule. We have the Patriots, Jets, Falcons on our new schedule, and the Panthers. Yo, Bryce Young. Devin White might be catching that interception if you throw it towards him. Lions are going to the motherfucking Super Bowl.